So, how has religion influenced the development of humanitarian law or the law of armed conflict and human rights law? I think with the law of armed conflict or international humanitarian law, as we call it, the link between religious thinking and the law is evident or easier to state in the sense that the law of armed conflict, at least the structure of the law, reflects or finds a home in just war theory, in that tradition. So it's not to say that the rules individually will necessarily reflect just war theory, but the structure of how we think about the law, in fact, the way in which the law is set up, reflects just war theory, which is both a philosophical tradition as well as a theological tradition. So the idea under international law that it is sometimes lawful to use force, sometimes unlawful to use force, that obviously comes back to just war theory, trying to work out the circumstances in which it is lawful, finds a home in the conditions that we set in international law. It must be necessary to use force in self-defense. The use of force must be proportionate. The type of actions you can take. These are things that broadly reflect the structure of just war theory, though the individual rules may sometimes depart. And so they sort of date back to that tradition of religious and theological thinking. With human rights law, I think probably the connection is not as close in terms of the origins of human rights law. I mean, I wouldn't say that human rights law finds its origin in this kind of religious or theological thinking. But nonetheless, I mean, I would say that certainly the kind of basic tenets of human rights law are things that in many religious traditions would find resonance. You know, the idea that it is based on human dignity, respect for the human being, you know, these kinds of things would, broadly speaking, in most religious traditions would find some kind of resonance. Yeah.